Yeah.
Welcome to our November 2022 update. I'm Cale Thomas, Elite Properties Direct. This is Tobie Love, Cross
Yes.
Country Mortgage. Can you tell us a little bit about the award you just won for fun?
Yes. Of course I can. So I have got the blue dragon here. It's very soft and cuddly. But so the blue dragon, so everybody in the Corps works so hard for this every semester. I have literally wanted one of these for ever since I've been in, like the illustrious rare blue dragon, right? Um, and basically what it is every 6 months, each coach in the Corps has 12 students, and one of those 12 students wins the Blue Dragon. And it's from putting in the work, doing the numbers, doing what they require you to do. And so going into this semester, um, so every semester, so you've got January to the end of June, so January 1 to June 30th, and then July 1st to 12/31. So going into this semester, was right after the May summit, which I just got back from the fall summit. I was at the spring summit. I had made some serious decisions just about my health and my business. And so there's two goals that you set, and they can both be business, they can both be personal. I chose one business, one personal. One of those goals was, to lose weight, and I'm down, well, 54 pounds now.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
so that of course was part of it, but also it's like, doing the videos, making the calls. um Thankfully my coach Eric Colby, who I absolutely adore and love, he makes it real simple. He says it's a point system. Do this for this amount of points, do this, do this, do this, do this. I made sure to do everything on that list every single week, turn in my homework early. So that was the premise of it. So I was super, super excited to win the Blue Dragon. And
Awesome.
yeah, so this was by far the best summit, I think. All of them are amazing, but I think it was just everybody there showed up just, kind of a little bit in, I guess, just, I don't, what's the best way to put it? Everybody showed up a little broken. I mean, we're all broken anyway, right? But just more broken than usual. And so, and when we all left 2.5 days later, we were all a lot stronger. So we talked about a lot of things at the summit, and just getting through these turbulent times, these violent times. It's different. Kel, you and I were both in the business back in 2008 when it crashed. So this
Yes.
is not, this is different, but it's the same, right? And I don't want anybody to take out there in context that we're going to have a crash, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the feeling is the same. Different circumstances, but the same feeling. I was having a conversation yesterday, and right after the crash, and then Kel, I don't know if you remember this, but closings were locked up because everything was a short sale.
Hmm.
Nothing was moving. It was taking
Yes.
months on end to
Hmm.
get these short sale approvals because there was just so many of them. And so it's just, different time, different thing. But the thing is that, keeping the mindset is, it really is the biggest piece right now, because um, whatever we do in this valley is going to determine what our peak is. So right now it's a lot of talking, a lot of planting seeds and different things like that. And that's what we have to keep in mind. And
Yeah.
believe me, it's hard. We went from burnout straight to a grind. And
Yeah.
this is
Yes.
really right. I mean, that's a great way to put it, right? And this is really directed, if you're a real estate agent, if you're a lender on this call or on this Zoom, or even one of our buyers, like in our industry, we went from burnout, so just working to get everything closed, to straight grind. And we have to keep that in mind, because those last 2 years, they were not real life. They were like this weird realm that we were living in. We had COVID, the market went crazy. It, it was just not real life. And
Yeah.
so that's the thing we got to get through our heads, right? So it's definitely an interesting time for the world. but definitely an interesting time for our industry as well.
Well, a couple things before I forget, and to give everyone some main topics. Christopher Cox says, "Congratulations, Tobie. You definitely earned the Blue Dragon." Thank you, Chris. That's very cool.
Thank you, sir.
We want to talk about a few things. I'll just throw out the topics here as a teaser. Are you a buffalo or are you a cow? That's actually the title that we have on our meeting today. And then we wanted to talk about this concept of it's just math. Yeah. And through our discussion and pre-production here, I wanted to talk about going all in and what that looks like if we have time to kind of wrap it up on going all in. So I guess let's start out with, are you a buffalo or are you a cow? What does that mean, Tobie?
So are you a buffalo or are you a cow? So if you know anything about buffaloes and cows, a cow runs away from the storm. So a storm's coming, the cow runs the other way. They definitely don't run into the storm. But what happens is, as that storm moves and the cow is running, the cow ends up being in that storm for way longer.
Uh-oh. Something happened. I lost you, Tobie. Oh, okay. There we go. Sorry. Something happened there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So the cow ends up being in the storm way longer is the last thing I heard.
Exactly. And then the buffalo runs straight into the storm. So they get out the other side and they just get through the storm faster. So I'm a buffalo. What are you, Cale? Are you a cow or are you a buffalo?
Oh, totally the buffalo, right? I mean, let's get to it. And I think, like, one of the things that I've learned from doing this work with you is, so when the market changes, it's not like we just take a rest. We just change what we do. Mm-hmm. So it was time to get back to basics. It was time to really start. Like, if I didn't know what to do, I just got on my greatness tracker and started calling people.
Yeah, totally.
And so it was like, that was the one main thing every day. Like, if I can fill my greatness tracker, everything else is secondary.
Yep.
And greatness tracker, for those of you that don't know, is it's simply just a list of who you're contacting on a daily basis, who you're meeting with in person, how many contacts you're having. So for me to be able to focus on that during these times was really powerful for me, because there's definitely times where you're like, oh, you're stressed out, you're tired, you don't know what to do next, you're overwhelmed. And it's like, no, just make one more call. Just make one more call right now. And then that leads to 2 calls and 3 calls. So anyways.
Yeah, no, totally. And that is so true. Like, just go back to the basics. If you can't do anything else, just fill that greatness tracker.
Yeah.
So I
felt like that was my running through the storm was, okay, I know what to do. And what to do is contact a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, and you know what? And I think that, I mean, and even I have battled with sometimes, like, with the mindset, like, I'm just going to kind of coast through the end of the year. And that is not the right attitude to have, right? It's just not. We have to put in the work. And and I caught myself thinking, like, okay, that's not the right attitude to have. Like, but I think that it would be really easy to do that. Mm-hmm. And of course, we have a little bit more time to take care of ourselves, do some things that we may not have been able to do on the in the past, in those 2 years. Like, definitely take advantage of that, but still put in the work. Like, I mean, right now I'm still working, at least 4 days a week, 12-hour days. And then Friday, I may only work an 8 or 9 hour day, but I'm still working more than 40 hours a week. And, a lot of people go, why are you working that much? Because I'm setting myself up for the next wave, right? We're like all surfers right now. We're just sitting out on our boards and waiting for that next wave to come in. So we have.
And the reality is, like, the deals that we're going to work on this month happened because of our work 60 to 90 days ago.
Oh, yes. 100%.
That's not something I did last week that just brought in a deal. It's like, no. I've been working on these people and scouring MLS and calling them and emailing them and texting them and keeping in touch with them and having this very long conversation about what's going on. And then when opportunity arises, we're ready to jump on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I love that concept. It's really neat. And thank you for bringing that up. I love that.
Yes. Absolutely. And hey, and so instead of this week, so I thought of something just like right this second. So you know how we usually do a $10 Amazon card
Yes.
um, if you like, share, comment. So this week, I'm whoever likes, shares, comments, we'll do our little drawing. I'm going to send a buffalo too, so you can put it on your desk
Nice.
as a reminder to be the buffalo.
Okay. Love that.
All right,
Love that.
that's the prize for this week, and we
Get
do keep this.
Get your comments in. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like she said, share, like, love. We love the shares. If you know someone in the industry that you think could get some value out of this video, share this with them, please.
yeah,
Our next topic, it's just math. What does
yeah.
that mean in the realm of mortgage and real estate?
Yes. So if I had to like just do one sentence from something coming back from the summit, and like here's the thing, like we know all this stuff, right? It's not anything that's earth shattering or that we didn't know, but it's nice to be reminded of it. But it's just math, right? Like there's a lot of emotions right now tied around, how many clients you have, how many deals you're closing. There is a lot of emotion tied around that right now. But you really have to subtract that emotion because it's really math. Right now, the bottom line is we have to do more work to help the same amount of families that we did 6 months ago, a year ago. We just have to do more work. And you have to have your data to know what that new number is, right? So at the end of the day, it's just math. Figure out that new number, make that amount of contacts, and the rest is going to fall into place.
Yeah.
It's just math. And so I think when you can subtract the emotions out of it, then you're just going to be further down that right road than you are right now. Because if you don't know what you need to get to where you need to be, then that's a little bit of the problem, right?
It's a big problem.
And for me as a lender, when I look from a client standpoint, um, when clients come to me and need to be pre-approved, there's a few different buckets they go into. So there's either my clients that can't be approved right now, because I'm a firm believer it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So I've got my bucket of clients that can't be approved right this second. They need, help with credit, or their debt to income ratio is off. They just need help. So we're working on that, right? So that's bucket number one. Bucket number two is my qualified clients, but they're not qualified enough for this market, right? So keeping them abreast of what's going on and where they need to be for when that shift happens. There's that. And then, of course, I have my clients that are pre-approved right now in today's market. And then a lot of times that's a little bit of a mindset thing where you just have to get over the interest rates, right? The interest rates are kind of the elephant in the room right now. But look, guys, interest rates will come back down. And this right now is still a great opportunity to get out there and buy a house with little to no competition. I'm not going to run through all the pros and cons because we did that last month. But whenever the rates go back down, refinance. That's the way that it works right now. So take advantage of the market, get in, pick the home you want, and then refinance when the interest rates go down.
So I had this thought the other day, and it was about the market in general and two different parallel timelines. Timeline number one is interest rates right now. How long will they stay high for? And timeline number two is this massive inventory shortage that we've had and will be dealing with for a long time. Some people have said it's going to take us a decade to even out the inventory shortage. So if we're talking about a relatively short-term interest rate spike, a year or two, versus a 10-year-long inventory shortage, it would occur that the opportunity for buyers is to jump in while the rates are high, knowing that you can maneuver that rate later on. You can lower the interest rate with the refinance. But housing, once the rates go back down, if inventory stays where it is, there's going to be demand on housing prices to go back up.
100%.
So I think keeping that in context is important, because I am starting to see some real opportunities out there right now. I was sharing with you that, I'm going out and showing property each week, and now I'm starting to get callbacks from listing agents, and we're seeing it on our listings too, where we're sitting for a while, and then the sellers get, pretty motivated. Where I'm talking $50,000-$100,000 price reductions that I'm seeing on properties. This isn't like we reduced $5,000. These are significant drops,
Yeah.
and so it is creating some opportunity for buyers. I would just say, get ready because it's starting to happen. And the buyers are going to see some great opportunities coming up here in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially moving into October or November, December.
and if we could, I'd love to dive into this topic of just going all in. And what I mean by that is like, how you get psyched on something, like you get into getting in shape or losing weight, and you want to like go to the gym and focus on diet and track everything. Like you become obsessed with doing that thing. I think it's time that we have to find a way to get obsessed about doing our jobs and
Yeah.
going all in and just being like,
Yeah.
this is what I am. This is what I'm up to. This is, the main thing that matters to me right now. And just going all in on those things like the greatness tracker, et cetera. And I think this is a really good time too. If you're a real estate agent out there and you're feeling a little bit lost, Tobie is a great mentor and coach. Her coaching doesn't cost anything, but I would say get in touch with her if you want some of this structure. She has taught me so much stuff throughout the years, has never charged me a dime for any of it, and has been the most powerful thing in my business as far as having a game plan, knowing what to do, giving me certainty, helping me to, if you have the right weapons, going into battle is not as scary. And I feel like that's what we're doing right now. We're going into battle, but I feel like I've got the right weapons. And I've got a plan.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is thanks to you. So I appreciate you. And if you're a realtor out there looking and you're a little bit lost, Tobie is just such a massive resource, guys. You've got to talk to her.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Cal. I love we've been doing not only this show, but, just getting together every other week for coming up on 5 years now. And, and all I'm doing is just, regurgitating what I'm learning from the core. And just, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like I graduated from the core back in 2018, but I'm still a student. I'm still coached. And then I'm just turning around and sharing that with, everybody that I can, because I think that it's important.
Yeah.
And we need that right now more than anything. So
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we need it at all times.
Yeah.
Because I think like it keeps you grounded. Like even when we're just, when we're overwhelmed, like we talked about that overwhelmed period right after COVID. It looks like we're frozen again.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Okay. So even when we're overwhelmed, like that COVID period, I think it's good to know like, I'm slacking a little bit and my contacts, like, it's just kind of good to know where you are and what you need to get back to when the market changes.
100%. And the thing is that 6 months from now, a year from now, we're going to have a different set of problems that we're going to need to keep our mindset.
Totally true.
Talk about the thing is that there is never going to be a time when you don't have problems, right? This is just the problem right now. 6 months ago, the problem was, not being able to get an offer accepted without multiple offers and cash over ask. Now it's the interest rates. In 6 months from now, it will be something different that we will be strategizing on and talking about and working on our mindset for. So that's not ever going to change.
Well, and I think if you boil it down, the reason you and I are employed is because there are problems. If it was so easy, everyone would just do it without agents and without loan officers, and it would be no big deal. But that is not the case. It's never been the case. And the reason that we have jobs and we're the professionals in this industry is because we're helping people navigate through all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where we really this is where we really add value to our clients, is like right now, times like right now.
Yeah, totally agree with that. 150%. So good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes.
So we want to, so I know we want to do we want to do an update on what's going on in the market today because the Feds are meeting today. So
Yes.
let's talk about that in just a couple minutes. But I did want to give um, some questions that you should be looking at
Oh,
in
yes.
in your life and your business, right? So so there's a set of 8 and then a set of 5. So let's go over the 8 in this environment and then we'll go over the 5. So the first 8 is, are you lifting people up or are you sabotaging their joy? So that's something we all need to keep in mind, right? Are you acting like a buffalo or a cow, which we just talked about? So are you acting like a buffalo or a cow? Is your team the one you want to go into battle with? Does your team believe you are the right person to go into battle with?
Mhm.
Do you worry about the things totally out of your control? Number 6 is, how much time do you focus on the items 100% in your control? And then how much time do you spend with the right people? And what are you doing to invest in yourself right now?
Hmm.
So I know I ran through those fast, but thankfully this is something you can watch over
Yes.
or shoot me a text or an email and I'll send those questions to you. So that's 8 questions to kind of review, where you're at right now. And then the other 5 questions is, what is working for you right now? What is not working for you right now? What do you need to add? What do you need to subtract? And what do you need to learn? So if you don't have anything else to do right now, if you review that list, you will have a ton of stuff to do. So there you go. That makes
Yeah.
sense?
No, I love it. I love it.
Cool. Very, very cool. All
I
right.
was thinking of the answers myself. Like, what else?
Yeah,
Like, especially like, what else do I need to learn? That's always a tricky one
it
for
is.
me.
It is. Right. And so, yeah. So cool. All right. So let's see here. So anything else, Kel, before we move into like the update for today?
I guess just one other thing that I think has worked for me, and I wanted to get everyone's opinion on it if you're doing something similar, but I've really kind of taken inventory as to like what I have. And meaning like, oh, I've got this video camera. I've got this software I can edit videos with. I've got this marketing piece. I've got my team. I've got MLS and all its bells and whistles. I've got this, that, the other thing. And I'm trying to kind of come up with what more can I be doing with the tools I already have? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
never fully utilizing the tools that I have. And I think that's just in the spirit of kind of maximizing the stuff that's just laying around that I've been neglecting because we were, so busy, quote unquote, during COVID that I neglected these things that otherwise they're paid for, they're in my possession, they're just laying around. I'm not utilizing them as much. So what
Yeah.
else could I be doing with those things for my business? Doesn't cost me
Totally.
anything else. Just got to give it some attention.
Yep. Yeah. I love that. I think that's a fantastic idea. And and Kel, and so one of the things too, we have over here, we converted our conference room into like a little recording studio. So, you're always welcome to come do that. And anybody out there can come and do that. It's set up for a bunch of different things. So um, utilize your resources.
There you go. I agree.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. So this is a big week this week. So
Yes.
I'm waiting with bated breath. But so the Feds are going to meet today, and the anticipation is that they're going to raise the Fed funds rate another 75 basis points. Not so much to worry about that. I think that's already baked into the interest rates right now. Here's what the important piece is going to be that commentary after they do their meeting. And so I'm going to really be paying some close attention to that to see if they're planting the seeds for just a 50 basis point increase in the December meeting. If that is the case, then, that'll be a really good thing, because right now these rate hikes they're just creating chaos in the stock market and the mortgage-backed securities market. And so I'm super looking forward to when that madness will stop. But one of
Mhm.
the one of the potential reasons that we may see that pivot with the Fed is the employment numbers. So lower numbers of new jobs and increased unemployment are the first signals of a slowing economy. The expectations are right now that unemployment increases from 3.5 to 3.6%, which is still historically low, but basically anything under 5% is considered full capacity as far as employment is considered. So if both of these forecasts come true, then there'll be a real sign of a slowing economy. And I know this is going to sound horrible, and I 100% hate it. Nobody is ever happy about job losses, but that's really what we need right now for the Federal Reserve to start easing up on those Fed funds hikes. If we can get more stability back into those financial markets, investors are going to jump back in and start buying those mortgage-backed securities again, which is then going to push those mortgage interest rates down, which will then open up. People will get back out there, buy houses, be qualified to buy houses. Right now it is not uncommon to see a 0.5% to a full 1% jump in a day. And that is just, for me, it's sickening. I just want to sit under my desk. I don't do that, but I want to do that. So that's really, what needs to happen. And then another major report that's going to be coming out is the CPI inflation report. Right now, the concern is that oil and energy prices will keep the CPI high, and then minimal change in that report could mean the Fed will keep raising that Fed funds rate by 75 basis points. So that's kind of where we're at, and that's what we're watching. So I'll be really interested to see what we're looking at by this afternoon. And it's crazy because I've always had a really, as a loan officer, I'm not an economist, so I have a really good knowledge of what's going on. But I'm going to tell you, in this current industry, like, I'm really delving into it a lot more and reading a lot more articles. And this information is just statistics, obviously not opinions, but different things, because again, it's all math at the end of the day. The facts are facts. So I definitely will be keeping an eye out on that.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think even the average person is kind of more tuned into what the Fed's doing. Like, as I'm talking to customers and past clients, I feel like now more than ever, they're really tuned into, Jerome Powell said this, and they expect, rates to go up again in December. Like, they're just making comments that I'm thinking, I've never had these conversations with clients before, but
And unfortunately, some part of that is, the media, the mainstream media is getting it wrong, and for the most part, right? Because it's so much more than just the Fed raising that rate. Like, the unemployment numbers, the CPI numbers, they all play into what's going on with our rates, and it really, mortgage rates, that is. And I think when media says rates, people automatically assume mortgage rates, but we're talking about the Fed funds rate, which in itself doesn't directly impact mortgage rates, but it's the commentary afterwards that really, it really, so as crazy as it sounds, and we're sitting here saying, take the emotion out of everything, but the markets are really very emotionally
they're very emotional.
driven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So, how the markets feel about what, the Fed says determines on whether they're buying mortgage-backed securities or they're not buying mortgage-backed securities, which then does definitely impact our interest rates, mortgage interest rates, that is. So it's, some things we can't take the emotion out of.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yeah. So cool. Well, we're coming up here. I was just double checking for any questions here, coming up on 9:30. And what else you got, Mr. Cale?
I think it's just,
Order filled.
back to basics, staying in my lane, doing running the play, like stuff we've talked about for a long time. I think this is what there is for me to do. I think that I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor. We started this push months ago. We were just really focused on client contacts, and I'm starting to see some deals come together, which a couple months ago it was like, oh man, we need X, Y, and Z to happen before buyers and sellers can really come together, and they're starting to come together. So
Yeah,
I think we just need to keep pushing and keep pushing. The end is coming,
Yep.
and we just need to stay busy doing the things that we know we need to do. So that's why, yeah, I appreciate having you
Yeah,
to teach me what the things I need to do are, and identify those, and now we can run the play.
Yep, run the play. There you go. Cool. Well, awesome. Well, Kel, thank you so much for being a part of my life. I love our masterminds. I love doing this show, and I can't believe in literally 2 more months, 5 years. Holy cow! So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Little quick small world story. So Javier Calvo is really the one that brought us together initially. And he used to be a part of our show, and we miss him. He's not anymore, but his one of his sons is actually on the freshman football team
Order filled.
for
Oh, how
Marietta Mesa.
funny.
Yeah, so I get to see him in that capacity. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
How's
So
he doing?
good,
Oh,
good,
good.
good as ever.
Awesome. 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 Well, thanks everyone for checking it out. If you have any questions, please DM us in the
Yes.
comments below, and please share, like, and love, and you can get yourself a buffalo.
Yes, there you go. Very cool. All
All
right.
right. Thank you, Tobie. I appreciate everything.
Hey, thank you, sir. We'll see you soon.
All right. See you then.